sun is still up, so not too late of a lift. Yeah, my left knee, I'm not like hurt, but I can definitely tell it's still a little tender from when I crashed my bicycle like a week ago or so. I didn't crash into anybody, it just kind of spilled out. I think the ground was slippery when I turned. But I can tell it's just a little tender, so I'm probably not going to do legs today. Well, actually, no, I'm definitely not going to do legs today. But I think by tomorrow it'll be alright. So I'll put legs on a 1-day delay. And instead, I'll just make today shoulder day. This intersection is not... Well, whatever. So, yeah, today will just be shoulders. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if today was a rest day. But the fact that I don't do shoulders on a consistent basis, that's when I think, okay, I'll just delay the regularly scheduled lifts and just throw shoulders in. Because it's really not very taxing. Like, my shoulder day, as you're going to see, you know, it's like maybe 6 or 7 sets of lateral raises, and then same thing for rear delts, and that's going to be it. So it's going to be a quick lift. It's not going to be like devastating on my CNS. But every so often when I want to put a lift on delay for whatever reason, or, well, I guess that's really it. That's when I'll say, all right, let's just do some shoulders. Let's just do some freaking shoulders and go about our business. So no front delts. When it comes to shoulder training, for me, I'm very prone, well, in my chest training, I'm very prone to hunching. I'm very prone to using my front delts when I press. That is something I'm trying to work on. But what that means is then, you know, a lot of the time when I do some incline pressing movements, like some hammer strength machines especially, I get a ton of front delt activation. So, they're fucking big enough. In relation to my chest, my front delts are definitely big enough. So, you know, there's not going to be any shoulder press. If my front delts were, you know, lacking, if I thought they needed to work, relative to, you know, my whole build, then there'd be some shoulder press in here too. But that's not how I got here. You know, I haven't done it for like fucking 2.5 years or so by now, but I used to do heavy shoulder press. You know, I was doing 100 or so pound dumbbell press, Smith machines. Right? Like if your front delts need work, then by all means hit them like you would any other muscle. Right? Hard, heavy, progressive overload, get stronger over time. You know, move some serious weight around. But if you're like me and your front delts are overpowering compared to the rest of you, then fucking man, leave them. Now, in, I'd say, almost a complete opposite situation is rear delts. Everyone's rear delts need more fucking work. Your rear delts do not come into play so much as your front delts do in a pulling movement. Like in pressing and in all sorts of movements, your front delts are getting activated, but your rear delts, not so often. You know, maybe when you're doing rows, you do get a little bit of rear delt because you are kind of doing a pulling motion. You are almost doing like a rear delt fly. But I don't think that's enough for substantial growth. And if you really want to transform the way your shoulders look, everybody always jumps to, you know, side laterals, make them wider sideways, and front delts so that they're kind of like, you know, jumping out of your skin from the front. But big rear delts, I swear, are an absolute game changer. And not only just for your shoulders, but for your whole fucking build, you know? If you have, and I don't have very good posture. Well, I don't have conventionally good posture where I'm like shoulders back, chest up. I'm always kind of hunched a little bit. So if you're already prone to that, like me, if your rear delts are underdeveloped, it's going to give your whole upper back kind of like a rounded over look. Not cool. Complete opposite of the Dorito look that we're going for. Right, real wide up top, tapering inward at the bottom. So big rear delts, that will help add Well, not even to that illusion. If you have really big rear delts, it'll literally make your shoulders broader, especially from the back and the side. So, you know, you're just sitting here doing whatever. Your rear delts should be kind of like, if your front delts are kind of pushing themselves out in front of your bicep, then your rear delts should be pushing themselves out over and above your tricep. So, when it comes to rear delts, when it comes to rear delts, what are your options? What are your stinking options? You've got face pulls, pretty solid. Bent over dumbbell lateral raises, so that's where you kind of, I mean, you just do lateral raises, except you bend your torso over, so you're hitting your rear delt. And then reverse pec deck. And I think each of them has their own strengths and weaknesses. Like, I think squeezing wise, reverse pec deck is definitely up there. But in terms of like strength wise and really loading your rear delts with a lot of weight, I like the bent over dumbbell lateral raise. Even when I was a lot smaller, like, you know, fucking, I'm so spoiled. I was about to say, even when I was a lot smaller, back when I only weighed 200 pounds. Oh my goodness. But even when I was, you know, lighter than I am now, I was still like trying to move around the 60s or so. Because the nature of the movement, you know, it's not, it's heaviest at the top and lightest at the bottom, if you can imagine. So as you're doing the reps, you can move a lot of weight around, even though you're not really moving. You get what I'm saying? With bent over dumbbell lateral raises for your rear delts, you can push a substantial amount of weight. I'd say the only thing stopping you from going any heavier is if you feel like your traps are taking over. So other than that, just kind of bounce around. You know, no need to overcomplicate it either. Your shoulders are a pretty simple muscle. Like for side delts today, I'm probably just going to sit on a side delt machine and bust out like 6 sets. I don't think I'll even move on to anything else. And then rear delts, I might even do the same thing and just do like all laying face pulls, or maybe some reverse pec deck. You know, I'll have to see when I get in there. But this will be a quick lift. This is not going to take much time at all. And then legs tomorrow. I'm going to make sure to get a good night's rest and squat like a freak. But that's for tomorrow. Let's focus on today. So you tell me, what do you think? Is it going to be packed? Let's find out. There may not be much intra-set discussion since this is a pretty basic workout. Boy. Yeah. Oh my God. Oh. 3 more. You know, I will say this. With these sets, like I do kind of stop a set when I've hit just about failure, but I also kind of want to call it once I start using my traps and my biceps. Because I can tell the first few sets or reps, all rear delt, nothing else getting firing. But once my rear delts get weak, I can feel my traps start to take over. And then it's not a rear delt exercise, is it? It's more of a upper back. So I try to stop when it's all rear delts. Oh my Okay. Oh my goodness. Let's move on. Only 2 more sets of something. Okay, I think the 65s are exactly what the doctor ordered, at least for this set. And honestly, if this feels pretty good, I'll just be done. But I might do 2. We'll see. Ugh. Oh my god. Okay. Whew. Oh. Let's call it there. Rear delts are fucking cooked. Time for side lateral machine. This first set will be, well, the stack as heavy as I can go, burnout. But after a few like this, I might drop the weight and be a little bit more controlled. Because like this is more of like a, almost a fatiguing kind of set. Whereas if I were to do half the weight, it'd be more of a kind of a, I don't know, fight the burn kind. But no matter what kind, I'll make it hard. Oh my god. Okay. Yeah, a few more just like that. Oh yeah. Oh. I'm kind of doing cheat reps at the bottom. Like, it feels kind of silly. It looked like I could do like another 10 of those partials, but I didn't feel like my side delts were even doing much work. Really, as I get to the bottom, I feel like I'm just doing a lat spread to help get it just a little bit more reps out. But I think maybe 2 more, and some dumbbell, and shoulders finished. Not my craziest lift, but certainly a productive one. Oh. Oh yeah. All right, I lied. Let's just do 2 more here and then be done. Oh my god. Okay. That's it. Let's go down. Let's just zoom in slightly more and turn down the exposure. Perfect. Okay. How? Well, even though I only did 5 fucking sets, my shoulders feel fucking nuts.
So it's not a workout which I'm, necessarily saying is absolutely as much as I could possibly do for shoulder growth. Really, I just kind of want some shoulder activation. Do some reasonable amount of volume, get a pump, and then let's check it out. But like I said, if I didn't want to do shoulders today, I would have just made it a rest day. I didn't weigh myself this morning, so weight unknown. But I feel pretty fucking heavy, that's for sure. Oh. Okay, now that's a round ass fucking shoulder, man. See, that's what I'm talking about, how the rear delt is poking out above the tricep. That is exactly what I'm aiming for. Dude, I'm so fucking pumped up, I can hardly reach behind me to do a good, side tricep. But, yeah, man. Oh, yeah, rear lat spread, too. That's where your rear delts will really fucking shine. So they should be poking out pretty cool. I can't see behind me, but I think they're fucking popped. You fucking tell me. I fucking love it. So let's go back home, finish the 3 Chipotle tacos that I had left over from earlier, eat some more fucking food. Woo. So if you were to emulate that shoulder workout, if that's your deal, you want to just watch a workout and do it, I don't think you'd have too much problem. Relatively simple, and with a simple muscle group like shoulders, well, at least after you've divided them into front, side, and rear delts, I don't think there's any need for anything fancy. When you're training chest, there's 2 basic styles of movements that you can do, and I think doing both is going to be pretty beneficial for you, right? Pressing and fly-based movements, right? So you got incline dumbbell, and then you got pec deck, or you got hammer strength press, and you got cable flies, right? Solid combination. With back, even more complicated. You got pullovers. Well, actually, you got 4. I always skip the last one, but for back, you've got pullovers, rows, pull downs, shrugs. So that's 4 different movements that you've got to do for one muscle group. Now I know, those movements are like shrugs are for traps and pullovers are for lats, but just, bear with me. Quads, you got leg extensions, and then you got other pressing. Maybe sissy squat style, maybe regular squat style, fucking all sorts of shit. Hamstrings, hamstring curls, as well as RDLs. But shoulders, I mean, it's a pretty fucking basic muscle, man. All you're doing, side delts, here to here, with load, of course. Front delts, oh, okay, you got front raises if you want, but really a lot of here to here. Rear delts, here to here, either with face pull style or like reverse fly style or whatever, so if that's it, then I don't think, apart from maybe just the fun of changing it up, but you're going to build some solid delts if all you did was, side laterals and reverse pec deck, and maybe shoulder press of some variety. Changing it up is good, not only because you're going to hit your muscles in slightly different ways, but also it'll keep your training from getting too stale. But I think some of the kind of an aspect of shoulder training, as well as arm training too, which is really crazy for me to hear people hating on an arm day. That's fucking nuts. But I'll hear the argument, not all the time, but I do see it. It's like, oh, it's so boring. It's just all curls and push downs, and it's all side laterals. Good, right? You got a simple ass training session. No need to overcomplicate it or pick new movements or fucking think about different kinds of deer running around the parking lot. Like, you don't have to think about any kinds of fucking techniques and whatever else. Like when I do a leg day, I'm in my leg extension mode, and then I've got to completely transition my mental approach when I do squats.
I've got to totally warm up again and get exposed to the weight, because just because my quads are warm from leg extensions doesn't mean I can jump straight to fucking, like 500-pound plus squats that fucking kill me. So, chest, you gotta load up a big ass barbell or pick up dumbbells, and then you gotta move on to a new machine. With something like shoulders and arms, I like the simplicity. No, I like all. I mean, I think I'm a true lifter at heart. I like every lift equally, but I do like shoulders and arms because it's simple, man. You don't have to overthink it. You can have an awesome ass arm day or an awesome ass shoulder day just by thinking, okay, what's going to feel good? Side dumbbell laterals? Machines? You thought I was going to say thank you, didn't you? But like with arms and shoulders, such a simple lift. All you have to do is be like, okay, what's going to feel good right now? Heavy dumbbell curls will feel pretty good. Machine curls will feel pretty good. Like with movements that are that simple, you have such a wide variety of like exercise orders and selections at your disposal that you can do. Like with chest, I don't want to start with flies. I like starting with heavy pressing and then doing stuff like flies and squeezing work at the end. So that's kind of a constraint on my chest training, which not a bad thing, but it is a thing. Whereas with arms, I can do any fucking arm exercise order I want. And some styles I like more than others. Like usually I like starting with heavy dumbbell curls first, but not always. Usually I like, well, that machine lateral raise is pretty good, but sometimes I like doing dumbbells, So changing it up, that is what I think you should really be focusing on if you're prone to, let's just say, boredom from your shoulder and arm training. And you don't have to be married to a specific movement. Like, just because today I only did 2. I only did face pulls and side delt machine. Just because I only did 2 doesn't mean that that's the best way to go about it. I wouldn't mind doing like 4 different exercises for each. Like face pulls, bent over dumbbell lateral raises, reverse pec deck, single arm reverse pec deck, like doing every rear delt movement and side delt movement known to man, and doing like even just 1 set of each for the whole fucking lift. As long as every set that I'm aiming for my side delt, I'm hitting it hard, then over the course of that lift, whether I do 10 sets of 1 movement or 10 sets of 10 movements, if at the end of the day my shoulder's fatigued and pumped, then I think I did something right. So really what I'm trying to say there is, and this is kind of something I say about everything, don't get too married to one idea. Like, look, I do think there is a lot of merit to sticking to one particular training style for a period of time and seeing if it works. Like you shouldn't do like, well, okay, I won't say this, but I'll say I wouldn't want to do like full body training for like a whole week and then switch to like training once a week Menser style to like an upper lower split and like change it every week, just trying new shit all the time. Because I mean, you're never going to make progress like that. You have to kind of stick to one basic approach, or you should stick to one basic approach for long enough and see if it works or not. But wait, where the fuck was I even going with this? Damn, it's only lost my train of thought. Well, I think you get some of the ideas I'm getting at. Don't be too oh yeah, no. So I think you should stick to one style for at least a month or 2. See how you're progressing, see how you like it. But that doesn't mean that that's the best, And if you hear a fancy pants lifter, influencer, whoever, tell you the best training style is the, like, they break down their training style and they're saying it in a very persuasive way, and they're jacked, all of that's going to add to the viewer saying, holy crap, this guy's right. I should be training once a week like Mike Menser. Don't be fooled by that kind of stuff, because a lot of different training styles work. We see buff fast, fucking CrossFit dudes, calisthenics guys, right? Pretty solid fucking muscular development, and their workouts are completely fucking different than mine. You know? So what does that mean? Like, I mean, kind of seriously thinking about it. If people can get jacked in completely different ways, then for one thing, I'm going to say that means that the umbrella of training styles is pretty wide. So you can do a lot of different kinds of shit and it'll still give you results. But also, it could mean a little bit that some people are just going to respond better to specific kinds of training. And not only because maybe they just legitimately respond better, like, you know, some dudes have much better cardiovascular capabilities. You know, I'm never going to run a 3-hour marathon. I'm never going to run a marathon. That may just be because I've made myself so big and heavy, but, you know, I don't think I'm a natural born cardiovascular endurance kind of guy, you know, like these ultra marathon runners or whoever else. But then, you know, we've got absolute genetic freaks who just pack on muscle like nothing. So I think the people who actually get results, and I feel like I've said this exact speech a fucking million times, but I feel like it warrants mentioning for sure, no matter how many times I say it. But the people who actually make results and get gains, you know, make moves, they're the guys who not only train hard and consistently, that's the fucking biggest aspect there is. Whether or not you've got good genetics, shit genetics, a good training style, maybe kind of a less than optimal training style, you're never going to get shit if you're not doing this shit on a consistent basis for a long-term, you know, time frame. But the people who can get a training style or a routine, I mean, you know, not even a training style, but just can get themselves into a routine that they actually like, that they can actually kind of, you know, stick with, then honestly, that's a pretty big part of the puzzle right there. You know, we've all got a pretty reasonable potential to get good at kind of anything. You know, I think if I dropped everything right now, bodybuilding wise, and I tried to become a fucking I don't even know what other cool endeavors are there out there. If I tried to fucking shrink down and become a professional, like, X Games style snowboarder, if that was my deal, I think I could do it. And I think with enough practice, anybody could fucking do that shit, you know? But that's not my deal. I probably don't want to do that, you know? So even though we've all got a reasonable potential to do whatever, I think the people who can sort of, and this may just be luck, but if you can match a little bit of your latent ability with something that you become passionate about, then right there, this is the fuel and this is the spark. All right, it's fucking killer. So I think I may have at least gotten a little bit of that, because I feel like a total, what's the word I'm trying to think of here? Oh, just a fucking gym rat. You know, I've never had a problem going in, you know, every day for the last like 5 fucking years just because I love it. But I think I also have pretty good genetics. So those two things in tandem, it's fucking badass. So this is one thing which kind of, I'm tapering towards the end of the talk, don't worry, this won't go on forever. But this is one thing that it does upset me a little bit. I mean, maybe not, well, yeah, I think upset's a pretty good word. Dudes who, well, not dudes, I guess anybody, you know, don't, I haven't checked, but I'm pretty sure the female viewership percentage is still at like 4-point-something%. But, you know, people who don't have something which they like doing on a consistent basis, like, I mean, an everyday fucking, even just hobby level, you know, even just something that they can kind of work at and get better at or just enjoy doing, that doesn't revolve around just like, you know, going out, having fun, going to work, going to school, and isn't just like pure entertainment. You know, I don't think 2 hours of Young Sheldon does not count as a hobby. You know, you're not really, I don't know if you're really progressing. You're not going to become the world's best Young Sheldon viewer. And then just as a little anecdote, I think Young Sheldon's pretty fucking funny. I just use it as a overall, you know, encompassing show to represent wasting your time watching TV. But
You know, if you don't have something which you can just do on your own because you enjoy it and you enjoy doing it, then I think you're missing out, man. You know, everybody needs something. So I guess that's kind of, it's a little bit pretentious for me to say, like, oh, just pick something that you like doing. But if you feel like you don't have anything like that, then I think life can get pretty monotonous. You know, like if you just go to work or go to school and then you come home and you don't do shit, fuck, man. I think your days are going to bleed into each other. And don't forget, we've only got so many. That shit is running out. So, fast forward 20 years. Fast forward even 1 year. You know, are you going to look back at your time and think, man, I probably should have done, you know, anything. Insert anything. If you know that in a year you think you're going to say, okay, I probably should have been doing this. Or, man, I probably shouldn't have been doing this so much. Look, man, that is not a good feeling to have. Right? I was about to try to say some kind of cool quote, but you can't undo time. So, really all I'm trying to say is maybe, well, this is just getting into sort of basic motivational speech, what territory. But find something you like doing, do it on a consistent basis, get good at it. Do you see that deer? No. I need a fucking 360 cam on the outside of the car so that whenever a deer runs in front of the fucking car, I can like flip to that and show you. But yeah, if you have something that you like, I think you're going to have more fun in general. That's what I'm trying to say there. So, no more chit-chatting. You get the idea. Legs tomorrow. I'm already excited about it. I'm just excited about every lift. I didn't weigh myself this morning, and honestly, even if I did, I don't think it would really matter. My scale at my school apartment versus my scale here at my house, this one reads like 5 pounds heavier than the one at my house. I think I would need to buy like a really like fancy calibrated scale, because I don't want to step on the scale, have it say I'm 260, but then I'm really like 253. That's fucking stupid. So, how about this? If you know any real awesome scales, anything nice and calibrated and consistent, that's a comment which I would appreciate. Other than that, keep doing your cardio. I know you're not doing it, but whatever. Track your macros, put some muscle on your frame, walk around like a freak. And if you're still in the, you know, pre-lifting stage, or you're just easing into it just a touch, I'm talking like your bench PR was like 150, dude. Look, you gotta remember, I was there at one time. I better do some digging, but I swear there's a video somewhere of me benching like 150 in my basement, and that was my legit PR. That was early days. That was like, I mean, that was like right when I started. I'm gonna see if I can find that. Probably not for, I probably won't splice it in today. I'm not gonna find it that soon, but that'll be fucking great to look back on. So, yeah. Greatness, only greatness awaits. Don't worry. So start curling the 30s, benching 1 plate for 10. Maybe you can only go up from there. So I'll see you tomorrow for legs.